Welcome to Dolphin Dive Daily, your go-to spot for everything Miami Dolphins. If you bleed aqua and orange, hit that subscribe button and join the pod. The Miami Dolphins have become the center of attention during this year's training camp, not just for their on-field performance, but for the drama unfolding in joint practices. Center Aaron Brewer didn't hold back when reflecting on the team's sessions with the Chicago Bears earlier this month, labeling them as an exercise in fake physicality. According to Brewer, the Bears took the joint practice beyond its intended purpose, transforming what should have been structured, competitive drills into a distorted version of tackling football. While joint practices are designed to give players a fresh challenge against unfamiliar opponents, still under practice limitations, Brewer's comments suggest Chicago's approach disrupted the balance. In his words, the discrepancy between what Miami expected and what actually happened on the field created an environment that felt less like preparation and more like a stage competition. His candor has since ignited discussion across social media and sports media outlets, highlighting a tension that is rarely aired publicly in professional camps. Brewer specifically described the scenario during the Dolphins' joint practice with the Bears as confusing and misleading, noting that players appeared to engage in a different type of football than what Miami was preparing for. If they're out there playing tackle football while everybody else is practicing 7-on-7, that's fake physicality, Brewer said, emphasizing the dissonance between competitive intent and actual conduct. The statement points to a deeper frustration within the Dolphins' locker room, where consistency and clarity in preparation are critical. Miami has often been scrutinized for its ability to withstand the physical demands of a full NFL season, and joint practices are meant to serve as a proving ground rather than a spectacle. Brewer's remarks suggest that, in this instance, the Bears' approach may have obscured the lessons Miami hoped to gain, potentially leaving players with a misleading sense of preparedness. The center's willingness to voice these concerns publicly underscores both his leadership role and the team's broader commitment to genuine, physically demanding preparation. The ripple effect of Brewer's comments was felt immediately across social media, with Bears safety Jaquan Brisker responding to the criticism in kind. While the exchange was not hostile, it illustrated how tightly observed and emotionally charged joint practices can become, particularly when professional pride and competitive reputation are at stake. The Dolphins and Bears, both preseason contenders with eyes on the playoffs, were using these sessions to measure readiness, and any perception of insincerity could not go unnoticed. Brewer's critique has reignited debates about sportsmanship, the purpose of practice, and how teams interpret joint sessions. Observers argue that while competitiveness is expected, it must remain within the boundaries of preparation rather than escalating into a performance that misrepresents player capability. This ongoing dialogue reflects the complexities inherent in modern NFL training camps, where transparency, physicality, and mutual respect intersect in unpredictable ways on the practice field. The Dolphins' preseason opener against the Bears, which ended in a 24-24 tie, offered a practical lens through which Brewer's criticism can be viewed. While the score suggested parity between the two teams, Brewer's observations imply that Miami's sense of competition during practice was misaligned with what occurred on game day. Analysts point out that joint practices are designed to mimic game intensity while retaining a controlled environment, allowing coaching staff to identify weaknesses and strengths before actual matchups. Brewer's labeling of Chicago's approach as fake suggests that Miami might have been forced to adapt on the fly, potentially impacting strategy and execution. The tie in the preseason game may mask the underlying narrative of physical preparedness and competitive authenticity, which Brewer has highlighted publicly, sparking both media interest and fan discussion. These insights underline the importance of joint practices being conducted in a manner that truly prepares teams for the rigors of the regular season. Critics of the Dolphins have long questioned whether the team has the necessary physicality to endure a full NFL campaign, a narrative that resurfaces whenever Miami struggles to assert dominance on the field. Brewer's remarks, whether intentional or not, feed into this ongoing discussion by emphasizing the contrast between actual practice intensity and what is displayed by opposing teams. His focus on Miami's daily commitment to rigorous preparation underscores the team's awareness of the need for consistent physical engagement. Brewer highlighted that since OTAs and training camp began, the Dolphins have prioritized a level of physicality that should, in theory, enable them to wear down opponents. By contrasting this commitment with what he perceived during the Bears' joint practice, he draws attention to the importance of structured, purposeful, and authentic competitive drills as an integral component of NFL readiness. The dialogue around Brewer's comments also raises questions about the role of joint practices in modern football. While intended to expose players to different schemes and unfamiliar opponents, they are inherently delicate situations that require a shared understanding of boundaries. Any misalignment, such as the one Brewer described, can create confusion, potentially diminishing the value of the exercise. Coaches must balance intensity with safety and developmental objectives, ensuring that the session mimics game-like conditions without descending into chaos or unnecessary risk. Brewer's perspective suggests that, from a player's viewpoint, authenticity and physicality is paramount, and deviations from expected norms can frustrate preparation and mental readiness. The incident underscores how seemingly minor discrepancies in approach can have amplified consequences in both perception and performance during a team's formative training period. From a team leadership perspective, Brewer's outspokenness signals the presence of players willing to address perceived shortcomings directly. This can foster accountability and reinforce standards of performance within the locker room. By publicly identifying what he sees as a problem, Brewer not only establishes his role as a vocal leader, but also signals to coaches and teammates that preparation must be genuine and focused. Such candid assessments can galvanize a team to maintain high standards, especially when competing against high-caliber opponents like the Bears. However, this approach also risks drawing media scrutiny and potentially inflaming rivalries before the season even begins. Managing these dynamics requires careful communication, both internally within the team and externally with fans and media, to ensure that the focus remains on improvement and competitive readiness rather than personal disputes. In his post-practice comments, Brewer emphasized that the Dolphins' commitment to physicality has been evident since the start of the offseason. He described a culture of daily engagement where players push themselves and their teammates to endure and dominate across all aspects of the game. This philosophy is central to Miami's identity, as the team attempts to overcome historical questions about durability and toughness. By highlighting the difference between authentic practice intensity and what he perceived as the Bears' fake physicality, Brewer reinforces the message that consistency, effort, and commitment to true game conditions are non-negotiable elements of preparation. Such messaging can serve as both a motivator internally and a warning to opponents externally, emphasizing that Miami intends to match or exceed physical expectations throughout the season. Observers and analysts following the story note that Brewer's candor adds an element of drama to the preseason narrative, drawing attention to how teams prepare away from the spotlight of regular season games. While joint practices are often underreported, incidents like these offer fans and pundits insight into the mental and physical battles that shape a team's readiness. Brewer's comments illuminate the subtleties of preparation, where the perception of intensity can influence not only confidence, but also the tactical approach on game day. By publicly questioning the integrity of the Bears session, Brewer has reframed the conversation around preseason activities, making authenticity in practice a central theme. This development demonstrates how players' voices can shape public discourse about team culture, preparation, and competitive standards even before the first regular season snap. Looking ahead, the Dolphins' subsequent joint practices with the Lions and Jaguars provide opportunities to recalibrate and ensure that their preparations align with desired intensity levels. Brewer's statements may have served as both a critique and a call to action, emphasizing that practice environments must be consistent, realistic, and physically challenging. Coaches and players can use these sessions to validate Miami's approach, assess opponents, and strengthen cohesion in ways that translate directly to game performance. By openly addressing perceived discrepancies, the team can reinforce its commitment to authentic physicality, ensuring that every drill contributes meaningfully to season-long objectives. In this sense, Brewer's comments extend beyond critique, becoming a catalyst for reflection and improvement in preparation methodology. Ultimately, the conversation around fake physicality highlights broader themes in NFL training culture, including competitiveness, leadership, and accountability. The Dolphins' experiences with the Bears offer a cautionary tale about the importance of alignment in expectations and execution during joint practices. Brewer's remarks illustrate how players interpret the intensity and intent of practice differently, and how those perceptions can influence morale and readiness. As Miami continues its training camp and preseason schedule, the team must balance competitiveness with constructive preparation, ensuring that each practice serves its purpose without unnecessary theatrics. Brewer's commentary has injected a dose of transparency into the preseason narrative, providing fans and analysts alike with a window into the challenges and intricacies of building a physically and mentally resilient football team. Still with us? Then show some love. Hit that like button and let us know in the comments. What's your take on the Fins this week? Rumors are swirling across the NFL landscape tonight, and if you've been keeping an eye on the quarterback carousel, this one might just take your breath away. Tua Tagovailoa, the Miami Dolphins' young star who has dazzled fans with his accuracy and poise in the pocket, might be on the move sooner than anyone anticipated. According to multiple sources, the Minnesota Vikings have reportedly made a formal offer to Miami, signaling their intense interest in acquiring the quarterback before the season progresses further. While trade talks in professional sports are often fluid and complex, the mere fact that a team like the Vikings, known for their strategic, measured approach to roster building, is reportedly taking a serious look at Tua indicates that something substantial could be brewing behind closed doors. The rumor alone is enough to send waves through both fan bases, as speculation grows over what such a move could mean for Miami's offensive strategy and Minnesota's ambitions. Speculation around this potential deal hinges on a variety of factors, not least of which is the quarterback's willingness to entertain a move away from South Florida. Tua has been a central figure for the Dolphins since being drafted, often shouldering enormous expectations as the team's face of the franchise. However, insiders suggest that Tua has been quietly evaluating his long-term position with Miami, weighing opportunities that might accelerate his career trajectory or place him in a system more tailored to his strengths. The Vikings' interest, therefore, might not just be transactional, but appealing on a personal level, offering Tua a fresh environment, new coaching perspectives, and the possibility of leading a team with a potent offensive line and promising receiving options. Fans of both teams are already speculating, imagining scenarios where Tua fits into Minnesota's offensive schemes or where Miami would seek a replacement, highlighting just how intertwined player desires and organizational strategies can become in these high-stakes negotiations. While details of the proposed trade remain opaque, whispers suggest that Minnesota's offer might include a combination of draft picks and key roster players, designed to meet Miami's valuation of its young star. The precise mechanics of the deal are still under negotiation, with league insiders cautioning that nothing is final until contracts are signed and league approvals are secured. This stage, however, is where rumors can gain momentum, as each leak, offhand comment, and insider hint fans the flames of speculation. Observers are dissecting every interview, every social media post, and every public statement from Dolphins management and players for signs that the team is open to negotiations. Even minor hints from coaches about strategic adjustments or from front office executives about future roster flexibility are being interpreted as pieces of a puzzle that could ultimately reshape the quarterback landscape in the NFL, making the next few weeks critical for both franchises and fans alike. Adding to the intrigue, the timing of the rumor could not be more dramatic. The NFL season is already underway, and quarterback performance is under intense scrutiny from fans, analysts, and management alike. Minnesota's apparent urgency suggests they might be looking to bolster their offensive leadership immediately, rather than waiting for the offseason to explore long-term options. For Tua, this could represent a rare moment where a mid-season transition might accelerate his growth, exposing him to a new playbook, different coaching philosophies, and perhaps a more stable supporting cast. Meanwhile, the Dolphins must weigh the immediate disruption such a trade could cause against potential long-term strategic gains, such as accumulating valuable draft capital or reshaping the roster to better align with their broader vision. Each decision point adds layers to the rumor, fueling intense speculation as both teams weigh risks, benefits, and the unpredictable outcomes that can come from making bold, headline-grabbing moves. The fan reaction on social media has been a whirlwind of emotions, ranging from excitement to skepticism, with hashtags trending and forums buzzing with theory after theory. Vikings supporters are imagining Tua leading the offense, potentially transforming a solid team into a legitimate Super Bowl contender, while Dolphins fans are vocalizing fears about losing their cornerstone quarterback. Analysts are already debating the impact on locker room dynamics, team morale, and even the coaching staff's ability to adapt mid-season. The rumor has sparked a domino effect of discussion that extends far beyond the teams involved, as other franchises, commentators, and even casual fans ponder the strategic implications of such a trade. From fantasy football managers adjusting projections to sports journalists crafting speculative op-eds, the chatter is intense, illustrating the powerful ripple effect that a single potential quarterback move can create in the modern NFL ecosystem, where every rumor can ignite widespread conversation. From a strategic standpoint, the Vikings' interest in Tua could reflect a deeper assessment of their current roster and offensive needs. While Minnesota has maintained competitive seasons, the organization may feel that an elite quarterback is the missing piece needed to truly contend at the highest level. By potentially acquiring Tua, the team would not only gain a talented passer, but also signal a commitment to immediate competitiveness, potentially attracting further talent and boosting team morale. Conversely, Miami faces a complex calculus regarding its identity without Tua at the helm. Decisions about potential replacements, offensive adjustments, and team cohesion will dominate boardroom discussions, all while managing public perception and player confidence. The interplay between organizational ambition, player potential, and fan expectations creates a tense backdrop, making this rumored move far more than a simple transactional matter. It is a narrative filled with high stakes, uncertainty, and anticipation that could reverberate throughout the league for years. Reports suggest that Tua himself is not indifferent to the speculation, quietly weighing his options and the implications of joining a new team mid-season. While some quarterbacks might resist such a transition, insiders indicate that Tua is open to evaluating Minnesota's offer, recognizing the opportunity to step into a system that could highlight his passing strengths and provide stability in crucial areas such as protection and receiving depth. The decision process, however, is intensely personal, involving careful consideration of career trajectory, family logistics, and professional ambitions. Every quarterback faces unique pressures when considering a mid-season move, but Tua's situation is magnified by the public scrutiny surrounding him. The mere possibility of a change adds a layer of drama, making it not just a trade rumor, but a storyline rich with human emotion, strategic implications, and the unpredictable dynamics of professional football that keep fans and analysts glued to every emerging detail. Adding fuel to the rumor mill, sources claim that discussions between Miami and Minnesota could progress rapidly if preliminary terms satisfy both sides. Negotiations in the NFL can be notoriously volatile, with offers evolving by the hour and contingent on a wide range of factors, including player health, performance, metrics, and draft valuation. Each rumor about player movement is thus inherently fragile, capable of either solidifying into reality or evaporating under the weight of unseen complications. Yet, the intensity of the speculation itself has created a narrative almost as compelling as the potential trade, drawing attention from media outlets across the country and engaging fans in detailed analysis of what Tua's departure or retention might mean. Even without official confirmation, the conversation is already influencing perceptions, betting markets, and public discourse, demonstrating the outsized influence that quarterback rumors exert on the NFL ecosystem, particularly when they involve a player as dynamic and high-profile as Tagovailoa. Complicating the situation further is the delicate balance between transparency and confidentiality in professional sports negotiations. Neither team can publicly confirm the status of discussions without potentially violating league protocols or undermining their strategic leverage. As a result, insiders, journalists, and even casual observers are forced to piece together the story from subtle clues, cryptic statements, and background reports, creating a fertile environment for speculation. The uncertainty adds to the drama, with each unverified report contributing to a sense of immediacy and tension. Fans are left parsing every detail, from coach interviews to practice footage, searching for signals that might hint at Tua's future. The narrative, therefore, is both shaped by actual developments and by the collective imagination of a public eager for answers, turning the rumor into a living, breathing story that evolves by the hour and captures the attention of the entire football community. The potential ripple effects of Tua's rumored move extend beyond the two teams directly involved. Other franchises are undoubtedly observing the situation closely, considering how the dominoes might fall in terms of draft picks, salary cap flexibility, and positional strategy. Analysts are projecting scenarios where multiple trades could emerge as a consequence of a single quarterback shift, highlighting the interconnected nature of the league's personnel ecosystem. Even players not directly involved in the rumor are affected, as teammates, coaches, and support staff contemplate the changes a high-profile trade could bring. The speculation around Tua's potential departure is thus more than a headline. It is a catalyst for broader strategic thinking across the NFL. Every team must consider its competitive positioning in light of the rumor, making the unfolding story an influential force that shapes decision-making, media coverage, and fan engagement in ways that extend far beyond a single transaction. At the center of this swirling speculation is, of course, the human element, Tua Tagovailoa himself, whose career trajectory, personal ambitions, and professional identity are suddenly subject to public debate. Fans and commentators alike are weighing the pros and cons of his potential departure, imagining both the opportunities and the challenges that such a mid-season move would present. Questions abound regarding his ability to adapt to a new system, build chemistry with different teammates, and handle the intense scrutiny that comes with leading a high-profile franchise like Minnesota. Meanwhile, the Dolphins face the dual task of preparing for contingencies while managing fan expectations and maintaining team morale. The rumor has evolved into a complex, multi-layered narrative, blending strategy, emotion, and spectacle, demonstrating the unique power of quarterback stories to captivate audiences. Whether Tua stays in Miami or heads north, one thing is certain. This is a saga that will dominate headlines, discussions, and speculation for weeks, keeping fans on the edge of their seats as the NFL landscape hangs in suspense. Negotiations, speculation, and the human drama surrounding Tua Tagovailoa's potential move have ignited what might be one of the most intense rumor cycles of the NFL season. While nothing is official, the possibility of Tua joining the Vikings is enough to dominate conversations, create social media frenzy, and spark endless analysis from commentators and fans alike. The ongoing uncertainty underscores the complexity of quarterback transactions, where performance, career ambitions, team strategy, and public perception collide in high-stakes drama. Every subtle development, be it a cryptic quote from a coach, an injury report, or a shift in trade terms, adds new layers to the story, making it impossible to predict the outcome with certainty. Yet, the very act of speculation is compelling in itself, as fans and media dissect every angle, crafting scenarios, debating impacts, and imagining futures. The rumor, regardless of resolution, has already become a defining narrative of the season, highlighting the magnetic allure of the NFL quarterback carousel. That's a wrap for today's dive. If you're loving the content, share it with a fellow Dolphins fan, hit subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss a splash. Fins up.